You know, building wealth, it can feel super complicated, right? But what if I told you we could break it all down with a simple story? We're talking about a clever raccoon who just really, really loves apples. Yeah, you heard me. Let's dive in and see how this little guy explains, well, everything about investing.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? How does one tiny little seed become a massive orchard? And look, this isn't really about farming. It's the core idea behind building any kind of real, long-term wealth. We're talking patience, growth, and that little bit of magic we call compounding. Okay, so let's meet our hero. He's a raccoon, and he's got a big goal. See, he's not just thinking about the apple he can eat today. No, he's dreaming bigger. He wants an endless supply of apples. And believe it or not, his little journey is going to teach us pretty much everything we need to know. All right, so this is where it all begins, the raccoon's big apple dream. He's got an apple right in front of him, but instead of just gobbling it down, he sees something more. He sees the potential locked inside those tiny seeds. And that, right there, is the first huge mindset shift we need to talk about. And boom, here it is, the core definition of investing. It's really just this: putting small amounts of something, like, say, apple seeds, away over time so you can get a lot more in the long run. It's taking a few dollars today, planting them, and letting them grow into something way, way bigger. Our raccoon isn't just thinking about lunch, he's building a whole future. Okay, now look at this. This is where things get really wild. This timeline shows you the incredible power of time. Year 1, he plants one tree. Big deal, right? But then you jump to year 10, and suddenly there's a small growth. Year 25, a thriving orchard. And then, look at year 40, 1 million apple trees. That's not a typo. That's compounding in action. Each tree makes more apples, which have more seeds, which become more trees. It just snowballs. It's incredible.
All right, so if planting seeds is this amazing, why isn't everyone doing it? Good question, right? Well, it's because a lot of us are taught to do something totally different with our stuff. Let's get into what our little raccoon calls the sad leaves problem. And yeah, in this story, leaves are basically money.
So here's the core of it: saving versus investing. If our raccoon just hides his leaves in a bank, what happens? Nothing. They just sit there, they get lonely, they get sad, and they definitely don't grow. But when he uses those leaves to buy and plant apple seeds, now we're talking. He's putting his leaves to work. They're not just sitting there anymore, they're actively growing into more apples. But it's actually worse than just having lonely leaves. There's this invisible little monster called inflation. And what it does is it slowly eats away at the value of your leaves. So that big pile you saved, over time, it starts to buy you fewer and fewer apples. It's losing its power just by sitting there.
Let's put some numbers on this. Check out this chart. Let's say the price of apples goes up 3% a year. That's inflation. Now, if your leaves are just stuffed in a mattress, you're falling behind. You can't buy as much. But look at the raccoon's investment growth. It's 6%. He's not just treading water, he's beating inflation. He's actually getting richer. For real.
Okay, so our raccoon is sold. Planting seeds is way better than hoarding leaves. Got it. But now what? I mean, how exactly does he do it? Turns out there are a few different paths he can take through the woods, and picking the right one is super important. So he sees 2 main paths. First, there's active investing. This is the high-stress route. You're watching 30 hours of YouTube, you're reading reports till 6 a.m., you're trying to buy the dip. It's exhausting. Then there's the other path, passive investing. This is way more chill. You just automatically invest 10 leaves every single week, no matter what. Simple, consistent, stress-free. Totally different vibe.
So what are his options? What kind of seeds can he actually plant? Let's look at the raccoon's official investment tier list. Of course, at the very top, S tier, we've got actual apples, duh. But right below that, in A tier, look at this, Index Funds and ETFs. The note says low-key fire. I love that. Then you've got gold in B tier. It's cool, makes you feel like a pirate, but it doesn't really grow. And then crypto and real estate are a bit lower, maybe because they're a bit more unpredictable.
So our raccoon, he wants a simple life, right? He wants effective, he wants stress-free. So he's looking hard at that A-tier option. Let's dig into this low-key fire strategy and figure out why it's so powerful, especially if you're just starting to build your own orchard. I mean, you gotta love this quote. Index funds are low-key fire. It just nails it, doesn't it? It's not flashy, it's not some crazy get-rich-quick thing. It's just super effective, it's reliable, it just works. So what the heck is an index fund? Okay, imagine this. Instead of trying to pick the one best apple tree in the whole forest, which is super hard, what if you could just buy a little bag of seeds? And in that bag, you get a tiny piece of the top 500 apple companies. That's an index fund. You're instantly diversified. Boom.
This donut chart here shows it perfectly. With just one move, you own a little slice of all these different companies. And why is that so important? Well, think about it. If one of those companies has a bad year, maybe their apples get worms or something, who cares? You've got 499 others that are probably doing great. You've spread out your risk, and you barely had to lift a finger. And this right here is the simple habit that makes the whole passive strategy work. It's called dollar cost averaging. All it means is our raccoon invests the same amount, let's say 10 leaves, every single week, period. Some weeks the seeds are expensive, so he gets a few less. Other weeks they're on sale, and he gets a bunch more. Over time, it all averages out, and he never has to stress about trying to time the market. He just keeps planting.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the what. Now let's get to the good part, the how. This last section is all about the super simple, practical steps you can take to start building your very own orchard, just like our raccoon buddy. And seriously, it can be this easy. Step 1, find an investment app that's easy to use. Step 2, set up a weekly or monthly investment, whatever you're comfortable with. Step 3, and this is honestly the hardest part, just forget about it. Let it grow. Let time do its thing.
But of course, there are a few things to watch out for. Common mistakes. First, don't invest money you might need tomorrow. This is long-term stuff. And remember, this is a 40-year plan, not a 40-day plan. So if the market has a bad week and things go down, don't panic. That just means seeds are on sale. And for the love of all that is holy, don't check your account every 5 minutes. It won't help. Patience is the name of the game.
And just remember this, you're not doing this alone. There's a whole community out there of other raccoons who are on the exact same journey, following this simple path. We're all in this together. Raccoons together strong. So, we end up right back where we started. But now the question is for you. A raccoon started with just one seed and a vision. He wasn't a genius, he didn't win the lottery, he was just consistent. So the only real question left is, what apple orchard will you grow?